Okay, talk. Say something.
Something.
Pretend you're talking to the camera.
I'm talking to the camera right now, speaking directly to you in the audience.
Alright, thank you. So, introduce yourself. You could do at least your name, but then also whatever else you want people to know.
I am Delano Mattox. I am an artist of all kinds. I do visual art, I do music, I do all kinds of art. I use a lot of media that I gather from around the place. Specifically in visual art, I tend to use found objects, things I will find in the trash can or at thrift stores. I collage from a lot of old magazines. A lot of the times the subject of my art is focused on self-reflection in one roundabout way or another, whether it be objects that I'm using and how they relate to me, or the way that I found the objects and how they relate to me. And there's also how the audience relates to the art piece they're looking at. I feel like art is a very valuable, irreplaceable part of our world, because where do people go to in order to wind down or relax or enjoy something? And the most of the time, the answer to that is art, whether it be music, movies, visual art, people on YouTube. Yeah.
How do you see your art practice in relation to the rest of your life?
My art practice in relation to my life, I think they go hand in hand. My life fuels my art fuels my life. And that kind of ties back into my walk with God. There's always like this thankfulness for the art that I'm able to make, that I give to God when I make the art. God is one of the reasons that I'm able to make art. I think of art as like one of the closest ways that you can get to the experience that God had when he was creating the world. So I think it's a nice gift that God has given me to be able to create art. I find a lot of inspiration in nature. Just recently I went outside, took a synthesizer and recorded some music in the woods. That was really fun. Art is influenced by the natural world. I think it's impossible to not have it that way. I mean, humans themselves are natural, so.
Do you find any inspiration in the Bible?
There's a lot of values that I learned from the Bible, I would say, that bleed into art, whether it be like values of gratitude or strength that I learned from the Bible. I feel like art reiterates a lot of the valuable lessons that I was taught in my Christian upbringing. A lot focused on gratitude and self-love and love of other people. I feel like art and Christian outreach kind of go hand in hand, and it's not even like a beat somebody over the head with my Christian values or something. There's a nice subtlety that comes through in art pieces that is something that I haven't been able to find anywhere else. A lot of people that I work with are Christian artists, but maybe not from a first glance. I would say the same thing about my art personally. If you sit with an art piece long enough, you'll get to know the person in some form or way. And if the person happens to be a Christian that made the art piece, that will bleed through. One of the big things that God has tried to teach me, or is still trying to teach me constantly, is growth and adaptability. And I think that's one of the things I've learned through my art practice a lot. Because I work with found objects, there's a idea of adapting my art and going with the flow in terms of my artworks. And I feel like that has strengthened my relationship with God by becoming more available when I'm needed, you know? There's a idea of like, I need to be in constant communication with God, and the question is, what does that look like? But I feel like a lot of that has to do with being available, and art has taught me how to be available and adaptable and grow. And I feel like that's goes hand in hand with God is trying to teach me always. So,
what do you hope in the ideal future for art to become in the church?
I don't think art should be too catered. I think there should be a certain amount of freedom that the person has to express with their art without having it be a Thomas Kincaid painting. That there should be a general openness within reason, but an openness to express the person and what they're experiencing in their walk with God. Everybody's experience is a valuable one, and I feel like that's something that should be shown throughout the whole church in all the art that's displayed. I hope my art personally makes people think and look at themselves critically. I feel like my art has helped me to look at myself critically most of the time, and if I can help people to do that as well, I feel like that's something that I would love for my art to do. Look at yourself and appreciate yourself. That's what I want my art to do.
Is there anything else you want to say on the topic of art and Christianity? Or art and Adventism?
Embrace all the art, even if it might be a little bit scary.
Alright. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.